Well, hello YouTube. I haven't done a video for a while, so I figured, what the hell, I may as well do one. I've done a video. I don't know. I've been more focusing on a little bit more on my Xbox stuff, mostly in combination. I have been putting more of that up on my YouTube channel lately. Not so much on the technical aspect of myself or technical aspect of my job. Little bit. It varies. To be honest, I want to actually do a build and show a PC build. Unfortunately, I don't have all the parts for it yet to be able to build it up properly. No, actually, one of them I might have all the parts. I just need to get a spare case, I believe. I need to get a case, which I'm waiting for to be delivered at some point. Okay. I bought some new hardware for my own computer, which was a combination of new water cooling kits, which had a double radiator pump. I'll just get the actual kit I was using. I've also got my old kit as well, which my old kit was okay, but I just found the double radiator more efficient. If I can find it. Oh man, I hate when I'm trying to find shit. Sorry. Should have actually got this stuff out before that. Anyway, I should also mention I also got a new, well, I think I mentioned it in my last combo hardware review thing. I'll show the actual boxes of the items because I don't tend to get rid of the boxes most of the time. I tend to keep them on display. So I picked up this a while back, which I've been using it lately. The only thing that I find, and I don't know whether this is just this is more of a common thing with these types of headsets, or especially 7.1 when they've got the braided cord. The braided cord does get twisted easily, so you've got to always adjust and always untwist it, which is a little frustrating, to be honest. I'd like to see a manufacturer actually address that issue. Like, I'll show you what I actually mean by that. If you get the cable itself, basically you get this is what I like to call a little twist up thing, right? And it basically twists up like that. Now the issue is that, yeah, sure, you can, you know, let it unravel like so, similar to that. A little more, but yeah, you can make it unravel like that. That's not the issue. I think that's okay, but look, to be honest, I would like to see somebody actually address that issue a bit more. It's probably impossible to have a cable that actually doesn't unravel or doesn't twist up like these cables do anyway. But I find that's more of an issue I get every so often, which is the cable just twisting up, which is frustrating. It's frustrating when you're trying to use the headset, particularly. Which, to be honest, you know, it's not a bad headset. I haven't had any issues with it. It works beautifully. It sounds good on the mic, because I tested the mic. I did a little test / review of the mic. I used the mic in an actual review. As a headset, it's not too bad. So yeah, I can't complain too much about that. The thing I'm a little pissed about though is I think it's just out of warranty, which is rather sad, but it's just out of warranty, just out of a year out of warranty virtually. My Sabertooth controller has an issue with the trigger. See this trigger? See these triggers? Yes. These triggers, or one of these triggers anyway, after development, have been playing a lot of games, or playing a hell of a lot of, let's just say, combination of mostly GTA combined with a lot of games that use the trigger as a regular function, and the trigger is pretty much a main part of the damn controller when it comes to Xbox. The freaking frustrating thing I found is that the actual trigger stopped working. I could not drive, I could not do anything. The trigger actually stopped working. Now, I was going to assume that it might have been the wire and maybe change the wire over, because you can actually get a spare wire with these. But I think that's something that maybe Razer should look at. I mean, for the fact that, I mean, this is just out of warranty, and that's the frustrating part, because I'll probably have to end up replacing it anyway. Not an issue, not a real big issue for me, but I mean, at the same time, I can understand it being frustrating for somebody, especially if you've had less than a year and it actually wears out. I had some cases that I actually looked at on the forums that somebody complained about it being 6 months, that's right. They said 6 months, and 6 months, and the trigger pretty much wore out. Now, that's frustrating. It's frustrating to me because it's not a cheap controller when you initially buy it. I mean, originally when I bought it, I probably should have actually looked for it online first, but I bought it directly, first time it was ever released, and it wasn't cheap. I bought it from eBay. Now that's the frustrating part about it, the annoying part, which is it's not covered under warranty. Well, sorry, correct me. It's covered under the warranty. The warranty of the company on your last, which I checked actually, the warranty on Razer peripherals, mouses and stuff, and other things like that have more time. But controllers, only a year, only a year's worth of warranty. So that's something to consider when buying a controller from Razer. I don't have any problems with my other controller. My other controller's fine. My other controller's actually been working beautifully, which is the Tournament one. The only thing I've found is the button stick a little bit, but that's just an issue that I get from regular use and things like that. And you know, well, especially because I have a tendency to grab a controller after I've had something to eat or something like that, and a bit, you know, something of that nature. So I freaking fly in the room lately, or not this room, but other rooms in the house. Mainly because I had to look after my sister's dog, which was rather frustrating. Not the dog. The dog wasn't the frustrating part. The frustrating part was we had to leave the door open most of the time, and the flies got in. And they haven't died yet. Yes, it's almost like those pesky flies are just... It's almost like somebody stuck Miracle Grow and they're just freaking reproducing instantaneously. It's very strange. But aside from that, that controller works. There's nothing wrong with this one. That works fine. This is the new water cooling kit that I picked up, which, as you can see, it's the Entech Pro H2O 1250. Whatever. My point is, it's got a double radiator pump, and it's pretty badass. I haven't had any problems with it so far. It also, you can also up the speed on the cooling as well, which is good. Plus side. That's the reason I bought it, because with my other previous cooler, you could not up the speed. I still have my previous cooler, and it still works. There's nothing wrong with it. I just find it was not sufficient enough for my system. It's the H110 Corsair, which there's nothing wrong with the actual pack. I mean, aside from the fact that I've used it already, there's actually nothing wrong with this cooler. The only thing is you need a big motherfucking case to fit the bastard. That's the only thing. And that's the only disadvantage to that one, so you've got to have a big case to fit it. Yeah, but look. Anyway, I've got the new water cooling kit, the 1250. It works fine. It actually does a good job. Aside from the fact that when I have my air conditioning on heat mode, sometimes it can get a little hot. But that's not it. I actually worked out something with my CPU, which I didn't realise this, but it's not actually the socket heat that matters. It's the actual CPU, or the CPU's actual temperature at high speed. Not high speed. When it's doing a lot of processing. I was finding that my socket was getting very hot, but it wasn't actually the socket that I had to worry about. It was just the CPU itself. So CPU itself, fine, good temperatures. Socket temperatures can get a little high. I'm going to rectify that by putting a small fan at the back of my socket area. I have, of course, ordered that fan, but I'm waiting on it because I didn't order it express shipping. I didn't, figured, I go the cheap option and just wait for it to arrive. As I said, it's like a process, you just wait for most things. And it's like anything, you wait for stuff. I picked up myself some this AMD heatsink extra one, which is good for building systems. I needed some extras because the other ones I had were probably most likely, they were older ones that were a bit dodgy, so I thought, well, a couple of new heatsinks and nothing wrong with that. I've also got a couple of new Intel ones which I'm waiting on for the 775 socket. Pretty much just waiting on them to arrive. Waiting on a case to arrive. Also waiting on a motherboard diagnostic tool, which actually plugs into the PCI slot of the motherboard. It spits out some useful error codes and stuff, especially when you're dealing with motherboards and testing old motherboards and new motherboards. Now, previously I didn't have that, but saying that, I would always give the motherboard, any motherboard that I used a good test in regardless. But I thought, why not? I'll get a little tool that'll give me an extra advantage in that case. Now, what else have I been mucking around with? I got some new thermal paste for my CPUs. I was previously using this stuff. I mean, this is a basic thermal paste, which I'm going to give that to a friend. I lost the cap off it, unfortunately, but that I'm going to give that to a friend anyway. They're going to use that. That's not too bad. I don't have a problem with that stuff. I mean, it actually works. I just found that there's this newer stuff, which is like it's a different color to that. Like that's your basic electronics thermal paste. It does a reasonable job, but I'm finding with the other thermal paste, when I put the other thermal paste on it seems to be more conductive, just gives it a bit more, curing and stuff, and yeah, so it's just generally better stuff. But I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I have used that on plenty of CPUs before and I've never had an issue. I just thought I'd change my CPU paste because I'd never actually gone into using a different CPU paste before. And saying that, I've never had a problem with the computers I've sold in the past, so I don't know. As I said, it was worth a try just to muck around and change it anyway. Anyway. This is more like all online. Okay, so anyway, I mucked around with that, as you saw previously. Mucked around with my Corsair H110, which is pretty cool. I'm going to probably end up putting that in another case at some point to cool the CPU, but I don't know which case it will be, and I don't know whether I'll be able to find a case straight away to fit it. I may just keep it as a spare in case my other one goes belly up. I'll probably keep it as a spare, and I'll end up buying another one with a kit for one of my other systems. Aside from that, what else have I been mucking around with? I don't know, the combination, like I've been buying a range of different parts, small fans, big fans, and things of that nature. I've been buying a combination of that stuff anyway. I recently, which was sort of renovations because of the place we were from, they've decided to renovate the house a little bit. They put a new power board, I believe, in, or switchboard to be able to circuit breakers and everything else. So it's just a lot better anyway in general to have circuit breakers. Like they switched over the circuits, made things a little better. Yeah, which is cool. It was good. The electrician replaced that today, which was fantastic, by the way. And I have to thank the place that we rent from for actually doing a lot of the stuff they're doing. Because I mean, they're doing it out of government regulation, but they're also doing it out of the fact that they want to update their, keep their rental properties up to date. What else have I been doing? Just a combination of different things lately. Mostly just been doing business stuff, trying to keep on the end of that. Yeah, answering technical questions if anybody has any. Repairing, fixing computers, building computers. Occasionally selling a reconditioned computer here and there from time to time. Yeah, pretty much those are the things I've been doing lately. I actually have to pack a lot of stuff away because they're going to be doing all the floors and everything else, the carpets. So I have to pack all my stuff away and revamp it basically. To be honest, I'm looking at getting a new desk, which that's on my agenda at some point, a new desk. Definitely putting that as a point to get a new desk because the current desk is a little worse for wear. But I mean, it'll do it a pinch if I don't get a new desk. But what else? What else have I been doing? Well, working with Windows 8, which has not given me any major issues. We're working with Windows 8, updating my, updated my Windows, fixed up some other stuff. I also put a second solid state drive in my computer, which I thought there was issues with the drive, but I was finding that the firmware update that I had would seem to help with any issues that I have with the drive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that drive anyway at some point. I'm going to probably put applications on it most likely. I just need to get, I've ordered an extra SATA card online to be able to use a SATA card in my computer. So I can run the drive, because basically I had the amount of SATA slots I put in my computer, I've only got enough to have, I've only got enough to have the drives I've already got in there, and I need 2 extra SATA ports basically. So I've got a SATA 3.0 PCI 1? Yeah. PCI Express 1 slots. Yeah, PCI Express 1 slot. SATA card. I'll put that in when I get a chance. Well, direct me, or put it in when it comes. I haven't even received it yet. So I'll get that. Waiting on that, obviously. That's going to fix up everything else, and then I'm going to plug that other drive in, which I've got the cables and everything else, is like the case to do it now. What else? So this on and off. I've got new digital scanner anyway. It's like a high band antenna to be able to listen to. Well, there's a combination of emergency service, police, and a combination of things that are just interesting things you do here, and things you catch on to and stuff. So it's not too bad. I've got that, which I've been mucking around with. My wallet, which it's not a bad little thing, but this is my wallet anyway. It's plastic. It's IR scared and guarded. Basically, the plastic clip here is broken. Not easy to repair, but easy to replace because you're gonna pick these up for like $4. $4? Yeah, $3 or $4. So I picked up a new one. So I figured why not? I pick up a new one and whack all my cards back in that. It's also got a few more slots and everything else in it. So I think those are pretty much the combination of things I've been doing really. It's mostly been related to me working on trying to work on computers a little bit, but also working in a combination of family stuff and doing my internet stuff. I mean, to be honest, I should probably get back into my YouTube stuff. Not my YouTube, but my Xbox stuff a little more. But I mean, Xbox is more of a recreation thing. But I mean, if I could have some fun at it at the same freaking time, why the fuck not? But anyway, that's a good kit, by the way. That EdTech cooler, that EdTech water cooler. Double radiator, the fact that it's got double radiator, I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed with the double speed that's included for But yeah. No, the thing that I figure is that I'm going to get back slowly to my YouTube channel, so the combinations of. I've also found since changing out the power board for the house, or the switchboard, that things have been a little more efficient, because I was getting moments where literally the power would just fall out. It was only occasionally, it was only that part of the house, but it seems to be better now, so fingers crossed that things stay in tune with each other, basically. Things off the top of my mind here. I've picked up, as I said, that extra solid state drive in there, which I've got there in a moment, which is pretty cool. I got 2 new extra fans because originally I had 2 fans on the top here. Now the 2 fans I got here on the top that go on my system now have LEDs on them, so the top of my case lights up, which looks pretty good, to be honest. I was pretty happy with the fact that I bought 2 of the same fans. I found they were efficient fans. They did a good job. Not just that, but it's also the fact that they had LEDs on them to start with. But what actually happened is I had a fan. I only had one fan on the top of the case, pretty much, where the radiator was, and it just wasn't really doing as an efficient job as I wanted to get the heat out of the system. So what I ended up doing is I ended up putting two fans on there, and the reason that I replaced both fans, I was only going to replace one fan, or I did originally only replace one fan to start with. But the reason that I replaced the two fans is because I replaced one fan. I put an extra fan in, then I replaced the original fan that was on the case. Because basically what happened is I didn't realise this. I put my finger in to check something, and it was surprising that the blade of the fan actually broke off. My finger must have been that tough, and the blade broke off, and I'm like, really? Damn, okay then, thank you very much. So it broke anyway, so I thought, screw it, it's not doing as good a job as it used to, and it's not doing as efficient cooling as it was doing before. So screw it, I took both fans out, put two new fans in, revamped my case a little bit, replugged some stuff inside it so I could have an extra drive if I chose to. Yeah, pretty much that, a combination of that. I replaced this because I had a 16 gig drive that was having some issues. It was basically the clip was loose and everything else on. I mean, it still worked, but I use it as a spare basically. But now my main work drives, I've now changed them over because I was at Aldi and I came across. This was like 20 bucks maybe, something like that. I was at Aldi and I came across a 64 gigabyte thumb drive. So I figured this would be perfect for doing my tech stuff, and especially being able to put stuff on and off, being able to access things and things of that nature. I mean, generally I have a few drives most of the time. I got my actual 750 gig hard drive, which I use, my USB 3 one, which I use as well from time to time. There's also this one, which is a 64 gig thumb drive. And I've got these two spare here, which I had to find these because my nephew borrowed them for a while and didn't give them back to me. But I eventually found them in his room, and these two are 4 gig each, so that's 8 gig in total, like tonight, and that's 64 gig. So these are the ones I commonly carry around my neck, which helps me to be able to transfer stuff. But I mean, you can do a heap of tech stuff, especially. The other thing I was thinking of getting, which was a portable engineer's version of NoahBus, maybe. I was thinking about getting that. I actually have to find out what exactly the cost involved with that. I don't know, I'll work it out at some point. Anyway, I ended up doing that. What else I ended up doing? That D-bit thumb drive anyway. Well, this thumb drive is pretty good anyway. I haven't had any issues with it. It works very nicely, and it's a nice compact size too. So, I don't know if I was annoyed with my mobile phone with my cell phone for a while. Mainly because the fact that I couldn't get the damn thing to pick up calls when I wanted to be. When calls wanted to be picked up or didn't want to be picked up, it was a strange little thing I had. I basically had to turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone because it basically would interfere with any of the mobile network stuff, which sort of pissed me off because logically it shouldn't interfere with the phone signal. But, it's going to happen. I mean, it happened, and I guess at the end of it, it happens. I mean, eventually you get business back most of the time anyway, so. Let me just put this phone back where it was. Anyway, but yeah. Basically I did that. So I've been doing a combination of things. I also updated a lot of the screens in the house because my sister gave me an old TV for my nephew, basically. I mean, one of the it was the fact that one of the HDMI ports, one of the HDMI ports didn't work and the other one was a bit faulty because you had to move it around to get it to work. I mean, I could go ahead and fix that, but I mean, I'm not really majorly actually miffed. As long as you click it in the right position, it works anyway. So here's that now, which you can use. So yeah, pretty much. I also got some new business cards printed up a while back. To be honest, I'll probably get some more printed up at some other point, but that probably won't be till I move house, or maybe, I don't know. It depends on whether I'm in the mood or not, but I mean, I had to correct the number. One of the numbers on the back I had to correct because it was a misprint. It was sort of my own fault, sort of, I don't know, at the time I probably looked at the number and it was a couple of numbers out of place of what it should have been, which is frustrating. You can get those. But anyway, the mobile number on the back of it's right anyway. But the new business card looks like that, which I think is pretty snazzy. It looks good. It doesn't look bad. I also got a business card holder, which, I mean, it was free anyway with the actual purchase of business cards anyway, so I get buy that holder. So yeah, anyway, did that. What else did I end up doing? Basically, yeah, I've been doing a combination of things with my business and just trying to build it up a little more. I mean, it's still more of a hobby thing. I mean, it's hobby slash sort of, basically it's just a way of me for me to pay for my obsession in computers, really. In context. BIOS batteries, by the way. BIOS batteries, which I got a small volume of these actually. They're not too bad for replacing, and also they're 2032s, CR2032s. These are not bad little batteries, to be honest. And I always find it's always good when working with second-hand motherboard to buy some batteries for your BIOS or for your motherboards, because the BIOS batteries and those are always flat to the sack. It's good just generally because it gives you a test of the system as a general rule. So. Alright, can I think of what have I got off the top of my head here? I don't know, as I said, I was just basically making a video to sort of reconnect with everyone on YouTube, regardless. Try and do anyway. I still need to work on some of my other stuff for YouTube. Make my channel a little more... Look, give my channel a little more oomph, you know. But, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned, I've got more videos coming up, obviously at a later date. I'm going to have some more videos. Probably involve Manny, most likely. I'm interested in seeing what I can get if I do have the cash at the time. The PC version of Watch Dogs. I want to see the PC version of Watch Dogs. I am contemplating getting an Xbox One, but I'm hesitant until I see if the prices pan out over the next few months or more, just to see if the price. Because I mean, to be honest, you'd be surprised if you wait for something to come down in price, or if you wait for a bargain price, you can most likely get it. I haven't seen a moment where you can't get the price you want if you search around and you wait it out, basically. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed my videos, or this particular video anyway. I hope you enjoyed my last videos and a few other videos that I've been having with our Dutchman, which I've been doing a few things with Dutchman. Mostly a combination of just making idiots of ourselves, but what's life if you're not an idiot occasionally? It helps to be an idiot. It helps to be professional. It's a combination. It's good to get drunk and play Xbox, because you may as well. Yeah. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the essence. Yes, that's right.